Hello, we have a second line day. We're in the ninth gate, and the second line is called Misery Loves Company. Ah, the joy of the collective sharing its misery. This is one of those line names that Ra enjoyed and loved very much. The 9-2 is all alone in their room. They're just doing their thing. But if you have something that you're trying to focus on, find a 9-2 to hang out with because they love it. They love sharing their concentration and their focus. The projection that this second line is putting out is, I can solve the problem because I can focus. But this is not how the problem is solved. It is one necessary aspect in order to solve a problem eventually. But this is the illusion that is caught up in the projection. Ra said that he had many students over the years, typical 9-2 students, who would study and focus all the time, but not actually learn anything. In the exaltation, we have the collaboration with others to temper frustration, the power to collaborate with others in focusing. They're projecting out, I can solve the problem, I can concentrate. And with that, they get the energy around them, where others are saying, okay, we will join you in this process of concentration. And remember that the logic process is a collective process. It's a bit like a laboratory full of scientists, and they're all working on the same thing in order to solve the problem. Science generally is a collective process. Logic works in the collective field. It loves to collaborate, but it has to be called out. If you knock on the window as 34-2, you're likely to be told in no uncertain terms to go away. If you knock on the window of the 9-2, they're going to say, oh, please come on in. This is the collective. They want to share, even in their hermit space. They want to share that focusing potential. In the detriment, the overwhelming need for expansion that can lead to errors in judgment, missed opportunities, and depression. The drive to collaborate that will miss the focus. This is where the second line isn't too discerning about who calls them out. And instead of sitting and studying together, they end up drinking tequila and watching Fantasy Island all night. They've lost their focus. They get depressed and they haven't studied and they can't possibly explain to the teacher why not. This is the child who says, but I studied and studied. Why didn't I pass? I stared at it all day. I gave it my attention. I was focused on it. And this is something to know about the second line, really, because what is projected out doesn't necessarily have any depth behind it. It doesn't have the introspection of the first line. It doesn't investigate it and get dug into it. It's just projecting out. I can solve problems because I can focus. And that is not actually solving the problem. It's a method of solving a problem, and there is a difference. So the grounding is coming from gate 16 in the second line, which is called the cynic. Now, as with yesterday's false enthusiasm, I wonder if this is another red flag. The 16 is supporting the 9 by pointing out potential issues. Perhaps it's saying, if you tell people that you can focus and solve problems, but you can't, you'll look like a paper tiger and people will be cynical of you in the future. Maybe it's a call to make sure that you follow your strategy and authority. The moon is still in gate 28, the gate of the game player. It moves into gate 44 at 1540, and this is the last of the splenic gates for this particular lunar cycle. Gate 44 is called Coming to Meet, the gate of alertness. It's alert to the needs of the tribe and all the ways of making sure that the ego can be tamed to meet those needs. This is the personnel manager for the tribe. It's a projector energy that can guide people into correct positions, a place where their skills can be most appreciated and recognized, where they can contribute and earn an appropriate reward for their trouble. We have a channel here because the moon is meeting Mercury. The 4426 is the channel of surrender. It's the design of a transmitter, and it carries the gift of working with people, as you would maybe expect with the personnel manager. It has an instinct for knowing how to present anything to anyone in such a way that recognition is inevitable. The key to success for this channel is actually waiting for your market to find you rather than trying to sell yourself for recognition. And the moon moves into gate 1 at 0107 tomorrow morning, the G center gate of self-expression, the creative. And we have another channel here because Uranus is in gate 8. So this is the channel of inspiration, a design of being a creative role model. This is an individual energy, and so it has the keynote of empowerment. It's a leadership channel, as are all the channels between the G and the throat. But this is not a channel that is looking for followers. They're simply setting the example of someone who knows where they're going and empowering others to do the same. This is a channel that can stand out from the crowd in its uniqueness, and that takes courage. But it's a projector channel, and so it does need recognition, which it can't get if it doesn't attract a bit of attention now and then. This is our line transit for today. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, we will be in a third line day tomorrow. I will be back for that. I look forward to having your company with me then. Thank you very much. Take care and go gently.